Have you not seen the irony of what's going on tonight? If you've not, it's a little bit funny. There's one person who can save the president's hope to give you stimulus before the election day. And guess who that person is? Well, there's a rack at the TJ Maxx scarf section to help you figure that out. Javita Late. My goodness. If you've not figured out what's going on, the vast majority of all the money that Donald Trump, Mr. President, has to send out for executive orders is being hidden under some scarves at SBA. Yes, there's $300 billion of unaccounted for PPP money in the hands of Javita. Well, not in her hands, in their scarves. And there's another round of $200 billion that's sitting, under some very nicely pressed scarves in the corner. It's at times like this that we wonder if Blaine 66 really understands how important he is. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Evenings LALATE, and a night in which we realize where all the coins are being held. And ironically, as everything always comes back to the same point at which it is, we're coming back to EIDL and Javita Late. Go to the front of this channel, subscribe, because this is about as crazy as a Nancy Pelosi commission can be. And then also like this video. In this video, I'll be going over where all that money is that the president has to do executive orders for, why suddenly Javita Late might have to start wearing her scarves, and thank God it's cooler here now in California, so apparently Javita Late can make a reappearance. And finally, why this is so important to hit the epiphany level in the president tonight. Here's the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here tonight is that less than 24 hours ago, I told you, a leading news report claimed that Senate Republicans were irate with the president, thinking that Nancy Pelosi was setting him up to lead him up in numbers to ultimately reject him every step of the way, to cannibalize his party, to disavow any attention on the Supreme Court nominee, and to basically play games with people. Well, guess what? Late this afternoon, NBC reported much the exact same thing. They reported that Senate Republicans reached out to the president's office, called to speak to Mark Meadows, and spoke to Mark Meadows and Steve Mnuchin, Chief of Staff to Donald Trump and Treasury Secretary to Donald Trump, and said, stop it. Stop the negotiations with Nancy. She's leading you on and she's setting you up. Lord, the NBC report basically said that the Senate Republicans are not co-signing any bill that's over $1.8 trillion, let alone $1.8 trillion itself. It's too high, and you're not going higher. And you can do that on yourself, Mr. President, that you don't have a single Republican in favor of you. Ultimately, tonight, there has been absolutely no reaction from the White House. We haven't heard anything from the president, anything from Steve Mnuchin, anything from Mark Meadows about stimulus. Sunday morning is going to be Sunday morning talk, and they'll be talking their heads about something. But ultimately, as you sit here tonight, there's too many reports that are out there in the last 24 hours that say, one, the Republicans have put their foot down and have ultimately decided that foot's going to get them reelected or going to need a new shoe, because they have said, we'll do stimulus, but we're not doing above the problem solvers. And guess who said to do the problem solvers, Bill? You did. We did, the Purple Power. We said, 1.5. Get it done at 1.5, but make sure it's all money to us, not money to Mr. Burr, not money to Steve Mnuchin's office. Yeah, there was a raise for Steve Mnuchin's office in there. A raise for everyone but us. We didn't get a raise. And ultimately, they didn't listen to us. And they kept on going higher and higher and higher. And I said, no, 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 you're going to lose Republicans and you're going to lose the viewers. Well, not the viewers, you're going to lose the electorate. Because ultimately, what's going to happen is we're going to get less, someone's going to get more, and ultimately the deal's going to implode. And it did implode. Tonight, Nancy Pelosi rejected the president's $1.8 trillion, making him look like he should have never restarted the negotiations. You know, he called off the negotiations. What was it? It feels like it was a week ago, but I think it's only 48 hours ago. Maybe it's 72 hours ago. Called off the negotiations. Said, stop. It's not going anywhere. It's not promising. It's a waste of time. It's not doing anything. And then the stock market crashed. Now, let's make it clear. The stock market didn't crash. It went down 300 points. I mean, it's not like it went down 1,000 points or 2,000 points. It went down a couple hundred points, which is really much of nothing. But the president really overreacted and was like, apparently he got spooked, said the news reports. He got very spooked that the stock market was not happy. There was no stimulus deal. Now, had he been paying more attention to the situation, the president may have realized that there was enough indications in the stock market that they did not anticipate with a certainty that a deal was going to be reached, and that it was really sort of wishful thinking, that it was built into the market that perhaps the stimulus bill would not get approved between Pelosi and Mnuchin. So why was the president so adamant to get back in the negotiations? Well, he did, and he said, well, they're now moving really good and they're making great progress. No, they made no progress. Steve Mnuchin called up and chatted on a Wednesday. They made no progress. Did they make progress yesterday? No. The progress they've made since July is Since July, these two groups have made no progress. Let's be clear, folks. Let's stop with the silliness already. We've heard enough fake propaganda from both sides over all these months. Since July, has Steve Mnuchin moved on $400 a week for FPUC? No. Has Nancy Pelosi moved on $600 a week for FPUC? No. Has Steve Mnuchin moved on $1,200 checks? No. Has Nancy Pelosi moved on $1,200 checks? Yes, she's got it worse. She usually used to give you $1,200 for dependent checks. Now she's at $500. Has Steve Mnuchin moved on hazard pay and now giving you hazard pay? No. Has Nancy Pelosi moved on hazard pay? Yes, she got it worse. She took it away. As time went on, we got less. We didn't get more from both sides. So where was the progress, Mr. President? So the Republicans tonight are sitting back and wondering, why was this done in the first place? And ultimately, as you sit here tonight, you're wondering, where's my darn stimulus check, LALATE? I mean, what am I going to do here? What's going to go on? And how are we going to get through this together as a community? What you need to understand is that I prepared you for this scenario weeks ago. There was a time in which the negotiations were done. There was a time in which there was no legislative hope. And I said, stop focusing on Nancy. Remember when I called her the Temple Doom? Because I said I'm not going to refer to her by name. She's making me upset, so I didn't want to even refer to her by name. I said, I'm going to refer to her as Temple Doom. That way I don't get upset with the situation. So tonight I'm going to refer to her as Temple Doom. And I think you should too. Temple of Doom has been a waste of time. The president needs to focus on executive orders. So there's two things that Purple Power needs to push for tonight. One, executive orders. Executive orders, Mr. President. Now is the time. He's behind in the polls, 14% in every major state. He's losing in 4 or 6 swing states that he has to win to get to 270 in the Electoral College. He's losing percentage points week to week. There's no third debate. The third debate is now canceled. He's going on a campaign rally in Florida on Monday, but his ability to campaign the way he would have done just days ago has been lost. He's not in a good circumstance, and while he may get a Supreme Court nominee that may excite his party, that's really not going to bring moderates or undecided voters into the pack. The thing that's going to bring something into the pack is some big event, and that big event does not appear apparent at this point, with the exception of executive orders. Executive orders, stimulus checks, $1,200, $2,000, $3,000. Let me make very clear, as I did in the afternoon's LA broadcast, I'm going to make clear in this broadcast as well, Javita has about $500 billion sitting around for this president. There is at least $500 billion sitting around in CARES Act 1 money that is unaccounted for, that can be repurposed, and that is potentially all in Javita's scarves, to be, to give you a visual of it. This is unused CARES Act 1 money. The president does not need active authority from Congress, does not need a congressional vote. It's money that's not in the Treasury. To make it even clearer, the president does not need legislative approval to send out money that's not in the hands of Treasury. He does when it's in the hands of Treasury. This money's not in the hands of Treasury. He can repurpose the money. He has done it before. He did it with FEMA for LWA. FEMA had money. He said, FEMA, your money, it's now going to go for unemployment benefits. They're like, unemployment benefits? It was supposed to be for tornadoes. No, we're now going to use it for unemployment benefits. He can do that. He has the constitutional authority. He has done it before, and he should do it again. He should do it for stimulus checks. He should do it for FEMA. He should do it for FPUC or LWA, whatever you ever want to call it. Push, push, push. It's at this point the epiphany has to be hitting this president. There's too many things for this president to not realize what's going on. And ultimately, people always ask me, why has he not done it? Why has he not done it? There have been a lot of reports in the last 48 hours that says the president was being misguided. Larry Kudlow. The president didn't expect this to happen. Larry Kudlow. The president thought that he could gauge the economy based upon what Walmart, Home Depot, Target, and Lowe's were trading at stock price, which, needless to say, that does not take into account the American people, does not take into account you. And those companies continue to trade up. They don't need stimulus. They absolutely don't need stimulus. Another example, Darden Restaurants. It's publicly traded. It owns Olive Garden. Guess what? It's going through the roof. Its stock price is going up and up and up because it doesn't need stimulus. It's on the New York Stock Exchange. What does need stimulus is Mom and Tom's Diner on the corner because they don't have PPP money. They don't have EIDL loans. They don't have EIDL grants. All those things are gone. They don't have money for their unemployment. They don't have much of anything. And so those are the people that the president forgot to focus on because ultimately they're the ones that are going to vote more than Darden Restaurants or Lowe's or Home Depot. And so as we sit here tonight, the focus, Purple Power, is executive orders. It really is. Now, there is that other message we have to get out, and we're not going to forget the message. Seats for stimulus. All those congressional leaders that did nothing for us, they don't deserve to work in Congress a single day ever again. So when you go to the polling place or you're voting by bail? Yeah, I hope you're not voting by bail. Voting by mail. Voting by barn, voting by cow. If you're voting by mail, then also remember the following. Go in there and make sure you see the buttons, the words, and it says incumbent and someone else. It's always the someone else. Do not vote for an incumbent. Do not vote for an incumbent because they did not give you stimulus. Also remember this. Please vote. There are people who have dropped in the comments in recent days, I'm just so sick of this, I'm not voting. Oh my goodness. Not voting gets the incumbent reelected, so they do this again to you for 4 more years. Why would you not vote? This is exactly why you would vote. As we sit here tonight, ultimately, there's a lot of twists and turns, and there's a lot of confusion and a lot of questions. And what's important for you to understand is that stimulus checks can be sent out by executive orders. FPUC can be sent out by executive orders. The Senate's closed. It's not reopening until middle October. You need the Senate, the House, and the President all to do 3 things to get a bill into a law. And with the Senate closed, there's no laws coming for a couple of weeks. Additionally, Nancy Pelosi's have been at $2.2 trillion. Well, I wasn't going to say her name. Temple Dooms has been at $2.2 trillion since July. Steve Mnuchin has been at his crazy numbers since July. And ultimately, they may have been talking, but stimulus checks, FPUC, hazard pay has not gotten better. It's gotten worse. As we sit here this evening, what's important to understand is remain focused and remain attentive to the following. Delegates. It's been a big success so far, and it needs to grow even more. This is a grassroots effort. If you are a person that is good with a computer, then go on Google News and look for grants plus your city, and potentially plus CARES Act. Grants plus your city plus CARES Act, and then also do it for your county and see what results come out. Because what I've been talking about for upwards of 5 weeks now is to get you money, and this is one of the ways to get you money. Locating unused CARES Act 1 money, $150 billion of it, that is now in states' hands, cities' hands, and counties' hands to use or lose. They have to use it right away in the next couple of weeks. So they're announcing new programs right away for rent, for food, for grants, for stimulus, and for hazard pay. On a daily basis, I have people ask me, which of them do I qualify for? Well, just understanding what they are, you would understand from my recording. For example, if I say rent, well, and I have people, for example, I have someone say, I'm on SSDI, which one do I qualify for? Well, obviously you don't qualify for anything that's hazard pay because that's employment. But you qualify for rent because that's renting, presuming you rent, as opposed to you don't rent. It's very, very, very straightforward. So if you're good on that type of stuff, then go on Twitter, do the hashtag P plus, excuse me, I just butchered that. Let me start over again. The hashtag P, the 2 letters of your state, like FL for Florida, space, hashtag LALATE. So if you're a delegate in Florida, it would be hashtag PFL, space, hashtag LALATE. If you're in New York, hashtag PNY, space, hashtag LALATE. The reason why there's 2 hashtags is it eliminates confusion. Someone said to me the other day, I'm in Georgia, so when I do hashtag PGA, it comes up with golf. I got that. That's why there's 2 hashtags in it. And ultimately, the only way that will work is when you find LALATE stories about golf. Well, then you understand you sort of close, but not all the way there. Now, if you also know how to assist people in getting their enhanced unemployment benefits or unemployment benefits or asking questions about PUA or UI or anything like that or FPUC, then you could be a person that's helping others. The spirit of this channel is helping people get money, because there's a lot of money out there now. This is not money coming. And so if you are a delegate, then do the hashtag so people can find you. Also, if you are in need of a delegate, then go to Google, then go to Twitter and search, go to the top in the Twitter, and it has a search bar. You type in the words, the hashtags I told you, to search for your state. So if you were in North Carolina, you would go to the search bar and type in hashtag PNY space hashtag LALATE. I also said to you, don't put financial information publicly online. Always do it in DM. And someone said to me, what's a DM? So a DM is a private message, direct message, a private message. So if you find a mentor and you're chatting, excuse me, not a mentor, a delegate, and you're chatting and you're saying, hey, I need some assistance. Can you find this? And then you want to say something that is a financial information. Don't post it publicly. Don't post your phone number or your address or anything like that. Go into a private and chat with that person. Again, this is a grassroots effort. I'm not supervising these individuals. These are not people I oversee or employ or work with in any capacity. These are people who are simply helping you as we all try to help one another. Go to the French channel, subscribe. Subscribe because we're going to get through this together. We will. And also like this video. As I smell smoke. Oh boy, hope there's not another fire. Coming up next is Purple Power. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay LA for more.